I have a lot going on today. It is 61 degrees. I'm in my backyard. I have a few projects that I want to get done today. I'm cleaning up my containers. I'm going to attempt to clean up my raised beds. And when I say clean up, anything that was anything that had frost damages, I'm just going to cut those leaves off. If I see any type of fungus, bacteria, whatever the case is, I'm just going to cut those off. And I'm going to put them in a bag and I'm going to get rid of them. I'm not putting those in the compost. I'm also laying some straw on my beds. Whichever one of my containers or my raised bed that does not have any mulch or anything covering the soil, I'm going to go ahead and get those covered up so I can keep my babies warm and comfy throughout the winter. I'm going to go down to my greenhouse, which is this one right here, and I'm also going to go into the shed. I also have some tropical plants down there that I do want to also put some straw in those. I need to go ahead and water those, but before I come outside and start doing any work, I'm going to show you what I'm doing inside. I'm making bone meal, I'm cooking cash food, and then after that I'm going to cook my food today for my dinner. And I'm just cooking chicken thighs and boneless chicken thighs, skinless and boneless chicken thighs, and I'm cooking vegetables for myself. Cash is getting chicken quarters, she's getting vegetables, and she's also getting brown rice for her meal. I usually cook for her for about 3 or 4 days and call it a day. I'm basically going to take you along with me today, and I'm going to show you everything that I'm doing out here, and then I might give you guys an official tour of my greenhouse and my shed today. We shall see. I just let the vegetables cook in that broth, and in a little while I will remove the chicken, and then I will add in my rice, which are these bags. I just drop them in there and let them cook in the broth, and then that's it. So I'm going back outside to make sure that I finish whatever it is that I said that I'm gonna do today, which I already know I'm not gonna finish. But I'm off to a good start, so fingers crossed. I am in southeastern Georgia. Today is gonna be a beautiful day, and I feel like it is a perfect day for me to do some maintenance on my garden. As I go, whatever issues that I see, I'm gonna go ahead and clean those up. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. This is one of my containers that I am growing a cabbage. I'm growing Brussels sprouts, and I'm also growing a broccoli. As you can see, my broccoli's already started forming heads. These are frost damages that occurred about maybe a month ago when we had our first frost. And since then, we've had multiple, and I have not covered any of these containers. So basically, I'm just going to go through and I'm just going to cut off these leaves that looks damaged, because I don't want to encourage any disease or pests into my garden, and that's what damaged leaf does. So I already did this one where I cut off all of the damaged leaves, and then I also add in some mulch around each of those plants, and I'm going to do the same thing for this one. It's just easy maintenance that I'm doing today. If you've been following me long enough, or if you've been following me for a while, you know that I do not like to touch anything that I don't know what it is. I can't. I don't like bugs. I don't want no bacteria on me. I don't want any disease on me. I just don't. You do what you want to do in your garden. This is what I'm doing in mine. And this is what I'm talking about when I say the leaves are damaged. They don't need to be in your garden. And no, I'm not putting those in a compost. I'm just getting rid of them. So since I've been gardening, I take my trash days and I fill up my container with all of my trash from my garden that I don't need. Anything that I feel like will breed bacteria or disease in my garden, I just get rid of them. I put them in the trash and I throw them out. And I try not to pull anything too much because I don't want to rip my plants. So yes, I do baby my babies because at the end of the day, they are feeding me. So I am very gentle with them. Give you another angle. All of these, they gotta go. These, they gotta go. I think at one point I had some pest damage. I think this one was covered in worms at first and I treated it with some BT. So these are the damaged ones. These are the damaged leaves that I'm getting rid of. They were going to town on me. So this is the skeletons of the worms that I got rid of. And I'm just going to get rid of those leaves because I don't want them to start folding when this cabbage starts folding. And this is what they look like. And I'm going to get rid of this one as well and this one. Now that I've finished with the maintenance, I'm removing any weeds that don't belong. And then I'm going to put in some mulch around each plant to make sure that I'm retaining moisture. And I'm protecting all of the organisms in the soil because these winters can be harsh. And my plants are little babies. So we want to protect them as much as possible. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just using some straw. Don't ask me which brand because I have not found a brand that does not grow. This does grow. I know it does. We just have extra of it, so that's why I'm using it. But I don't recommend this brand, so I'm not going to tell you what it is. I've already finished this one, so let me show you what the end product look like. So in this container, I'm growing a cabbage, I'm growing Brussels sprouts, and I'm growing broccoli, and I'm also growing celery. I'm also growing some onions in between because once the Brussels sprouts and the broccoli is harvested, then I'll have more space for those onions to grow better. In this container, I am growing a bunch of onions. I'm growing cabbage. I'm growing a broccoli, of course. And in the back, I am growing some garlics. This container, I'm not going to do anything with this container. These are some strawberries. I need to split these, but I'm really not going to concentrate on these right now. So for now, these are just 3 containers that I have on the side. I did this one earlier, and that's a Brussels sprout. That's a cabbage. And I have a bunch of onions in the front, and I have some garlics in the back. I still have all of my raised beds to do, but before I do that, I'm going to go over to my greenhouse. I have not given you guys an official tour of my greenhouse or my shed, have I? I'm going to have to make sure that I get that done. But I'm going to go over to my greenhouse where I have 2 small raised beds, that I have some garlic, some onions, and some celery, some Brussels sprouts growing in. And I also want to go ahead and put some mulch in that area. And I also have some onions that I have not planted yet that I might go ahead and stick those in the ground today. This raised bed does not have a lot of damages because I think it's because it's so close to the greenhouse, so it's warmer. I just saw a few damages just like this on the babies. And I just cut those off. And that's pretty much it. Not a lot. Oh, in this one, I have some garlic. These are going to be my garlic beds. Even though I have garlics everywhere. But this is celery. This is a cabbage. And that is also a cabbage that I have growing in here. And in between, I have a bunch of garlics growing. I might sprinkle some onions in here. I'm not sure what I want to do yet, but that's what I got going on so far. And I planted these maybe a month ago. So if you still have onions and garlics that you want to plant, you can still plant them. All right, so this one is finished and it doesn't take long. It really doesn't. I'm going to do the same thing for this raised bed. So in this bed, I also have garlic. These are the garlics. That is my broccoli. So I have garlics growing. I just broke something. You see that? I heard it. And you've been doing this for a while. You know when you hurt one of your babies. This is celery. That is, I think that is a Brussels sprout. And I knew I planted it too close, but I really didn't think about my spacing for this bed. I just kind of threw them in there. That gotta go. This gotta go. That and that. Yes, that's Cash barking. She ain't barking at nothing. Okay. And it doesn't have to be perfect. But this one. Everything is all covered. And this is finished. This is what it's looking like. And then this is the second one. And they're looking so good. Let's take a better look. All right, so these raised beds are finished in front of my greenhouse. I am gonna do my onion and garlic bed on the side of my house, which is in my log raised bed. And then I'll be going over to my larger raised beds. This is my log raised bed. And I have onions and I have garlics growing in here because I want to kind of deter pests. 2 years ago, I had strawberries growing in here and the snails, they went to town on my strawberries. So last year I grew onions. They weren't big onions, but they were good sizes. And this year I said I'm going to do strawberries and I'm going to do onions in here because I want to make sure that I get rid of all of them. And so once this season is over with, I think I want to do some strawberries on the outside so they can cascade over the sides. And then I might do onions and garlics in the middle. I'm not really sure, but this is what I have growing in it right now. Why are you making all that noise? What are you barking at? Where's your ball? Go get your ball so I can throw it for you. Go get it. Go. I don't have it. You go find your ball. It's your ball. You go find it. That's it. It is only 9:47 and I am sweating. Not because I'm working too hard, but because it's so hot outside. It is now 65 degrees. Oh, before we go there, let's get a kumquat. If you don't know what a kumquat is, they look like baby oranges or baby tangerines. They're this size, right? And that's how they grow. And you get them. Oh my God. You pop them in your mouth. You eat everything except the seed. And they're so good. I come out here every day and I eat like 2 or 3 of them. I have 2 or 3 trees. I think it's 3. 2 of them was fully loaded. I think I'm down to like a handful right now. So what I try to do is I try to just eat 2 or 3 a day. They're so good. They're sweet. Well, if you have the sweet ones, I've tasted some. They're not sweet. Now mine is outside in the element. And they do have seeds, by the way. And I have one that was in a container. And I put that one in the greenhouse. But this one is so sweet. They're called Miwa kumquats. You got to get some. They have a tart kumquat. And to be honest with you, I did not like it. And I kind of neglected it. And that's what it's looking like right now. Yeah, this is her. And I don't really feel no type of way about it dying. I hate to say that, but I don't. But my Miwa kumquats, oh my gosh. Those are, yes, you need to try those if you haven't tried those. All right, so now that we're out here by my larger raised beds, I want to show you what that looked like. Let's start off with my asparagus bed. I cut down all of my asparagus a couple weeks ago, and I just could not bother with all of those ferns. But what I did was I dropped the ferns on here, and then I covered it up with some mushroom compost and some soil. And when I tell you I thought that was a bad thing to do, but it's really not that bad, because as you can see, my asparagus, they're popping back up, and they're popping back up even bigger than they was before. So I do not mind at all. So I'm going to put some mulch on this bed, and I'm just going to let it be. I'm going to water it deep like I've been watering, like I've been doing, and I'm going to call it a day. This is my next raised bed. I have some onions and I have some garlics in here. I have mustard greens. This is just a dead leaf that I need to clean up. I kept the one bok chow in here. I always like to leave something for the bees to eat, because it is winter time and they don't really have a lot to feed off of. So I do leave a flower. I'm not saving these seeds. I just left them in here so the babies can get some food. I have Brussels sprouts. I also have broccolis growing. Look at all those heads. Yes. So these ones are growing really, really good. This is my wooden raised bed, and this raised bed will be designated for all of my potatoes or my sweet potatoes that I plan on growing in the future. But for now, I have garlics and I have onions growing throughout this raised bed. I also have some cabbage growing, and I think I have a broccoli and another broccoli. And this one is also, this one also have multiple heads. And then I also have some lava beans in here. I'm growing winter beans. And they're growing really good. It looks like they're getting ready to start blossoming, and that is amazing. So I need to go ahead and make a little trellis for this. As you can see, I have some pipes and some wood on the ends. And in between these lava beans, I also have some onions and some garlics. And those are looking sexy as well. Over here, I have celery, I have onions, garlics, I have a broccoli, I have cabbage, and I have some romaine lettuce. I will be cutting these because I think these are getting ready to start bolting. And as you can see, the heads have been folding, but they're starting to look weird, and I'm going to cut them because I don't want to waste them, and I plan on eating some salad this week. So here is the onions, and I also have garlics growing in here. You can tell the difference because the garlics tend to be a little bit bigger than the onions. So, yep, onions, garlics, all over the place. I did not grow any scallions this year because I have a whole bunch in my freezer. So, maybe later on in the season. And then these are some more onions and garlics that I have growing. As you can see, this is the this is the garlic, and these are the onions. These were some small bulbs that I ordered online. I will never order online again because they are trash. They send me stuff that doesn't make any sense. And I still have some romaine lettuce. I have a cabbage and it's already folding. And I have celery. And back here, I don't even remember what that is, to be honest with you. But I have a bunch of onions, a bunch of stuff in here. Have not cleaned up my strawberry tower yet. That's my strawberry bed. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna let this one be. I think it's already blossoming. Absolutely. I have some beautiful blossoms in there. And you see these bugs? Yes, I squished them with my hands, and that's why I hate touching stuff. But I know what those are. Those are assassin bugs. I don't like them in my raised beds or in my containers. So, yes, my strawberries are blossoming. They are so sweet. And then everything else is covered. This is my flowers and my mint. I cut it all the way down and I covered it up with some leaves to be a natural mulch. This is where I grew my cucumbers in the summertime. I will not grow cucumbers in here anymore. I probably put some peas on here. I'm not sure, but this was a really cute trellis that me and my friends put together. And I just basically amend this soil and I covered it up with some leaves. And then over here is where I was growing that purple sweet potato that I posted about. And something has been eating them. I think it's mold. So I'm not going to be growing purple sweet potatoes in here anymore. I might grow some flowers, not sure. And then this is my rosemary. This is my orange. These grew the sweetest oranges this year. Oh my gosh. No, I have not covered it up all winter. And I'm hoping that it will be fine for the rest of the winter time. But these are so sweet. And then this is the kumquat tree that I just picked a kumquat from. And as you can see, I still have a few that I do come out here and I pick each day. Last year, I grew a bunch of stuff in my fireplace, and I did not use my fireplace at all. This year, I have some volunteer plants in there, but they gotta go because I will be doing a s'mores night this year, and I don't care. I have some parsley, and I have some strawberries that's been growing in here. This is where I grew that really big and beautiful sunflower. It was literally grown out of my fireplace. I did not plant it, it just voluntarily grew, so I kept it. So that is my parsley, and these are my volunteer strawberries, which is super, super sweet. So I have to dig those out and I have to give them a home. These larger raised beds, I don't really have anything growing in there. I had, the stuff that was growing on the trellis, and those died. I had a bunch of other things that just died out. And I kind of stuck some onions in here. They were babies. I'm not really sure they're gonna do anything because I have not turned this water on in so long. And this bed had elephant ears and they're just pretty much died for the winter, which that's what they're supposed to do. They're not really dead, they're just sleeping. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have going on in this area. So I'm just gonna clean up all of these raised beds, get rid of all of those damaged leaves like these that was frostbitten. I don't like that look in my garden, so we're going to go ahead and clean those up. We're going to get those in a trash bag and we're going to get those in a trash can. And then we're going to apply some mulch and call it a day. And do I think I can do it? Absolutely, I do. All right. Let's go ahead and get to work. This shouldn't take me long because these beds are bigger and I have more space to move around them. So I don't foresee this one taking long. All right. Usually I cover up all of my raised beds or all of my plants during a frost. I just didn't. And this is the outcome of that. So, it's all right. gonna be trash as well. The bok chows are not so bad. I can just pull these. Oh, I just learned something new. So the bok chow is growing multiple heads as well. The bees are not gonna bother you unless you touch these bees. They're not gonna mess with you. So I'm not really too concerned about being out here while the bees are feeding on the plants. All right, clean that up a little bit. Okay, ma'am, you're doing too much. And that's it. I had to downgrade because it is hot out here. I think it's almost 70 degrees already. So I have on my Christmas cruise shirt. I don't even know where I got this shirt from, but I totally forgot to wear it on Christmas. So y'all know how I am about my gardening outfit. It will be worn in the garden because next year I will be wearing matching pajamas. All right. This one is done as well. We're moving on to the next one. She ain't going nowhere. That's my buddy. I'm gonna have to harvest these romaine lettuce because it's really hot. I think they're gonna be bolting soon, so, which I think they're gonna be going to seed. Whenever plants think they're gonna die, they bolt because they want to produce seed so they can keep living. And I think that's exactly what my romaine lettuce is starting to do. And that's totally fine, except I'm not keeping as much seed. I'm not keeping as many seeds as I kept in the past. I'm just not. I don't think I'm doing a seed giveaway this year. I'm noticing that I'm starting to become a hoarder. And I already have so many things in my garage that I need to get rid of. I don't want to become a hoarder of seeds, and I don't like that. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Last year, my seed giveaway was great, but I don't think I'm doing it this year. Maybe every couple years. I don't know. I gotta think about that one. I feel like I'm already doing too much. I'm doing things in Jamaica. I'm doing things in my backyard. I don't want to add that to. I don't want to add that to my list of things that I need to do this year as well. So I don't think I'm doing the seed giveaway this year. Or I might. Make sure that you're following me to see what I do. If I don't do that, I might do something else. Who knows? All right, this one is finished. And now we're moving on to the last one, and then I'll be done. This is finished. This is finished. This is finished. That is finished. And that is finished. I gotta keep remembering that I got something under fire. I do not want my house to burn down. So now that I have cleaned up all of my raised beds and all of my containers, and I have added in the mulch into all of them, I don't have to water as much. They don't really need a lot of water in the winter time, but I like to put a thin layer of mulch on top of the soil to prevent that water from evaporating so much. If you have not added a thin layer of mulch to your raised beds or your containers that you're growing out of, you might want to do some research and figure out if that's something that you're interested in doing, because it does prevent that water from evaporating as fast, and it does protect those microbes in the soil. So I am pretty much done for today. The only thing I have to do is come out here with a rake all of this up, put them in the bag, put those in the container, put those in the trash bin, and that's pretty much it. I always save these bags that I use for my garden soil or my compost, and that's what I use to put my trash in whenever I'm gardening. I'm so proud of myself, and I know you're proud of me too. Okay, so that's everything that I'm gonna do for today. No, it's not. I'm getting ready to bake some bread, and then I'm gonna shower, and I'm gonna relax for the rest of the day. I'm gonna edit my video, this one, and I'm gonna post my video, and then I'm gonna watch some YouTube, and I might get on Netflix. I'm not sure yet, but so far so good. I don't have anything else. Hopefully you enjoy my video, and hopefully you tune in for the next video. And that's pretty much it.